Okay, story time, boys and girls. One day, many, many moons ago, in a land far away, there was a man, and the townspeople didn't know what to do with him. He would cut himself, and he'd strip down naked, and he'd try to do himself harm and hurt other people around him. And the town people didn't know what to do with him. So they took this man and they led him to the cemetery outside of town. And there they bound him in chains because they just didn't know what else to do with him. And while he was there, he would break his chains. He would cut his skin. And he was just miserable. He was a man so miserable. Until one day, along the path, coming by the cemetery, he saw another man come by. And this man shone with a light he had never seen. There was just something about him. He felt a vibe from this man. And in this man, he felt hope. So he ran to this man and he said, "Master, but the words that came out of him was not his own. The words that came from him were, "Master, what would thou have to do with us? What would thou do with us? It is not yet my time. It is not yet our time." And the master looked at them and he said, "Who are you?" Just nonchalantly looked at this crazy man who probably had no clothes on, covered in cut marks, covered in self-inflicted wounds, and just looked at him. "Who are you?" The man answered, "I am Legion." Now Legion had lived inside this man and caused this man much harm. This man did not want to cut himself. This man did not want to be bound up in chains. He didn't want to strip himself naked and walk around shamedly around the countryside. He probably was like me and you. He just wanted to be with his family. And he got tangled up in something he shouldn't have got tangled up in. But then the master came by. And while Legion begged and pleaded that the master not cast them out into oblivion and to throw them into some pigs, the master did just that because he's a merciful, merciful master. And he said, "All right, then go to the pigs." And they left the man. Legion left the man and went into this herd of pigs that just threw themselves off a cliff. Can you imagine an entire herd of pigs just throwing themselves off a cliff to their own death just to get away from what lived inside that one man? When the townspeople came by, they saw this man clothed and sitting at the feet of the master in his right mind, freed from the oppression of Legion. This man that the entire countryside saw no hope in. This man that his townfolk saw no hope in. Just lift him out there in the middle of a cemetery to die. I found hope and peace in the Master. If you are bound up and you feel like others have just left you bound up, hopeless, loveless, if you are out there and you feel like it's all hopeless and that there's no way you can find your way out of this, there's a way. The Master's name is Jesus. Yes, I know. You've heard that name and you've probably heard so many different things. But I'm not coming to you from a platform, and I'm not telling you this story from a podium or in front of people. It's just me and you. I just want to introduce you to the Master this evening. I just want to tell you He's a Master who frees. He's a Master who loves. He's a Master who saves. He's a Master who calms the chaos when nothing else can. And when the chaos itself says that it reigns as king in your life, Jesus can come in and calm it. Call on His name and tell Him you need His freedom. Ask Jesus to free you. There's none better. There's none greater. There's no one who could love you more. But if you truly, truly give yourself to Him and you mean it, you'll not only have a Master who loves you, who died for you, and who calls you to be His own, but you'll also be born into a whole brand new family of people. You'll have to watch. There's still chaos. There's still chaos. There's chaos everywhere. But in the family of believers that truly believe in Him and truly try to follow Him, there's a kinship that I could never describe to you, and I would never trade for anything. God bless you all. May Yahweh grant each and every one of you peace.